everyone, it's Helen from Mindful Crafts and I'm just going to be starting the macrame rainbow tutorial. I know I'm just a couple of minutes before 12 o'clock, so we'll see if anyone joins and then we will make a start at 12. If you have got one of the kits, then I've just made sure I've got everything out ready. I'm going to go through everything that you need in a minute or two. So I'm just seeing, I can see a couple of people, someone's beginning to join. So by all means, pop some comments, ask questions as we go along. Just leave them in the comments and I will try my best to go through them and answer them as we go along. Or if you're catching up on this, then you can watch part of it and you can always stop and rewind it and go back. The choice is entirely up to you. Like I say, there's a couple more people, someone else just joined. Hello. If you want to pop your names in the comments as well so I know who I'm talking to, it's always a bit helpful. And yeah, trying to get the dog settled so she's not around my feet. Okay, so there is 2 of you there. Just sees the comments are on. So yeah, so you should be able to make a comment as we go along. Oh, hi Mercedes. Hope you enjoyed the workshop. Not sure if you've got a kit or if you're just going to watch and then make one at a later date. Okay, there's a couple. Berenice is watching as well. Excellent. Oh, we've got 4 of you now, so there's a few more of you just joined. 5 of you. Okay, well it is 12, so I'm going to make a start. And obviously however long this takes, it will take you. So I'm going to go through all of the knots and everything that you need to do. And if you maybe don't get time to finish it today, or hi Joe, if you need to stop halfway through and come back at it at a later date, everything's going to be on this tutorial for your Mercedes. I thought I recognised the name Mercedes, so yeah, so great. So as I was saying, is if you don't get it finished today, this tutorial is going to be here for another month, so you'll be able to come back and watch it through again. So these are a couple of the rainbows that I have done as examples. So if you have got a kit, you had a choice of 3 colourways. So I've got the brights and the pastels here. And then I know some of you had the autumn colours as well. So in your kits, you will have had the 5 different colours that you, hi Yvonne, that you chose. You will also have, I'm just going to go through what was in the kit, or if you haven't got the kit, what you will need to be able to make this. So you have got a set of the written instructions, which is basically what we're going to go through step by step. So that's a couple of pages, okay? And then you have also got some pages that explain how to do the basic knots of macrame. So if this is the complete first time, you're an absolute beginner to macrame, I've written out step by step all of the instructions for each knot that we're going to make here this afternoon. So you've got that in your kit as well, but I'm going to go through and I'll be showing you those step by step. You've also got a wooden dowel, okay? The one in the kit was 30 centimetres long, which is the one that I'm using. You could use another holding dowel, or you could, if you wanted to do a more rustic, you could have just a wooden stick, as long as you clean it. Some people sand them. It's entirely up to you, or you could use metal or whatever. Okay, I've also got a really good pair of scissors, which since I've been doing macrame for just over, about 18 months now, a decent pair of scissors is really worth investing in. So these are the Fiskars, and these are the razor edge ones. So when we come to do the fringe at the end, it gives you a really sharp, clear line. So they're worth investing in if you're going to be doing lots of fibre art. I've also got a wool needle, okay, which you should have had in your kits, and that is just for tying the backs and weaving the threads in at the end so it all stays secure. And I've also got a pet brush, okay, and I have just found that the pet brush is the easiest tool for brushing out fringes when we're feathering them at the end, if that's the finish that you want to go for. Okay, so I'm also working on a hanging rail. I did put in the instructions for you to maybe be working on a hook or a rail or a clipboard, something where you can secure the dowel, because then when you're working with the cords, it's not slip sliding everywhere and it's not moving. And I just personally find that the hanging frame is the best option. And this one, it's just a cheap clothes rail from Argos. I think it was about £7–8. And if you are going to be doing lots of macrame, then they're really, really useful. And then I've just got the S hooks on here. Okay, so however you're doing it, that's fab. But you, like I say, you just want to try and make sure you clip the dowel so it's secure to a table, or you can use tape if you need to, or a clipboard's quite good where you can just clip it on there. Okay, right, I think that's enough of me waffling, so I'm going to make a start. So I'm going to take these ones down and I'll move those out the way. And what I will do is I will just adjust the camera angle slightly so you're not necessarily looking at me all the time. And I'm going to get my dowel and I'm just going to place it on these two of these S hooks here. Okay. Now, another thing that I've done, just so you're not watching me cut cords, is I have pre-cut my cords already. So if I go back to the instructions that came in the kit, you will have been given the measurements. Okay, so I'm just going to hold those up there. Oh, it's back to front, isn't it? I'm forgetting it's in the camera. But you can always screenshot it and flip it if you want the measurements written down, but I'm going to go through them anyway. So I have cut 3 cords that are 70 centimetres, and I'm going for the orange, which is my first colour. Then I've got 2 cords that are 2 metres. Then I've got 3 cords that are 3 metres. 2 cords that are 3 metres. And then I've got 3 cords. This is going to be my outer layer of the rainbow, and they are 4 metres. Okay, so what I will do is, if you haven't got the instructions, what I can do is I'll pop the measurements again in the comments below. Okay, so if you have got any questions or you want me to repeat anything that I say, please just let me know and I'll answer them as and when I can. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take one of my 70-metre cords, and this is the bit that we're going to do. This is going to be the first semicircle part here, and it's using a double half hitch knot. Okay. But first, to attach the cords, we want to add the cords to the dowel with a lark's head knot. Okay, now the lark's head knot, again, it's in the guide to knots used, but we want to find the ends and meet them together. And then if you work your way to the other end, you'll have a loop. Okay, and then that loop we're going to pop over the dowel. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Oh, I can't seem to zoom. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop that loop over the dowel, open up the loop, okay, and then I'm going to grab the two cords and I'm going to just pull them through that loop. Okay, and then if I just gently wiggle them, okay, you will see that we've attached that cord with one lark's head knot. Okay, so that's what it will look like. So I've done one and I'm going to repeat it with a second one. Okay, so make the ends meet, go to the other end and make a loop. Okay, loop over the dowel, open the loop and then pull those two cords through, and there we are. Okay, so I've added two of the cords with a lark's head knot. Okay, we're going to come to the third cord in a moment, so don't worry. So now I'm going to begin the first sort of like semicircle of the first section of our rainbow. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to ignore that left-hand cord. I'm just going to hang it here out the way because we're not going to use that one. Okay, and then I'm going to take the second cord in from the left and I'm going to place it over the two cords coming from that lark's head knot. And the first cord, I'm going to take it over the cord, and if you see there, you've got another loop, and I want to pull that through the loop. Okay, and then I'm just going to shuffle that up so it meets the first lark's head knot. Okay, now I'm just hoping, let me just, sorry, I'm just moving the camera just so you can see that a bit clearer. Just aware that it's in reverse. Okay. Okay, so, right, let me do that again. So I've done the one for the half lark's head knot. Okay, so yeah, I see what you mean. So I'm going from the other way. It's the same. So what I'm going to do again is if I just go over the cord and through the loop and then pull that, and that is a double half hitch knot. Now I can move those cords out of the way. Okay, so now I've got one cord left. Okay, so I'm going, if you can see, I'm going over the cord and behind. Okay, and then I'm pulling that cord through the loop, and then that's a half hitch knot, and then I'm going to repeat that again for the double half hitch knot. Okay, so I hope that's clear. So if I take those cords down now, I have made one double half hitch knot and I've made a second double half hitch knot, and now I've got this cord that's loose here. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this cord to the dowel. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go, I'll just take this down for a minute. I'm going to go over the dowel and bring that through the loop. Okay, and then I'm going to go behind the dowel and bring it back through the loop, and I have got that now attached to the dowel. Okay, let me show you that again, because I know that that's a bit tricky. Okay, so now, right, so there I am. I'm going to go behind the dowel and bring it through the loop. Okay, and then I'm going to go behind the dowel and bring it through the loop, and there we've got that now attached to the cord. Oh, we've got it attached to the dowel. Okay, so that's the first part of the semicircle done. All right, now I'm going to go with the third 70cm cord, and I'm going to put it together at the end, and there's my loop. And what I'll do is, because that was in reverse, I'll put it the other end and I'll show you it going the other way so you can see it's gone both ways. So over and bring the cords through. Okay, like that. Then we don't use the outer cord, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. All right, so now I'm going to bring this cord back here. So this is the filler cord, okay, and this cord we sort of hold in the direction that we go in, okay. So my cords that are hanging, I'm going to hold that one cord, take it over the filler cord, and you see we've got this loop here, and then you want to pull that cord through, and then if you just tighten it up, okay, and you pull it towards that first knot, and then you repeat for the double half hitch knot. Okay, so you do that twice with each hanging cord. Okay, I hope you're following along. Just let me know if you've got any questions. Okay, so my cord over and then through here once for the half hitch knot, okay, and then repeat it again for the double half hitch knot. Okay, and there you go. Then I'm going to repeat it with these two cords. So over and through, over and through, okay, there we go, and you can see that we're getting this nice effect now, this nice semicircle, like lunar effect. And then I'm going to repeat that with this final hanging cord. So over and through and again. Okay, now if I take this down again so you can see. Okay, so now what you can do is, because we're going to attach this cord as well, you can just shuffle these knots so that they're all sort of like evenly spaced. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the dowel and bring my cord through that loop. Okay, now I'm going to take that cord across the filler cord, okay, and I'm going to go behind and I'm going to go through, and then you can see there that that has joined that with another lark's head knot. Okay, so that is the first section of the rainbow complete. Okay, has anyone got any questions about that? Are you happy that I've shown you from both sides? Because yes, obviously the camera being showing it in like a mirror image. So if I've done it from both sides. Okay. And there you go. And what we're going to do is we're just going to leave these cords for now. We'll leave them hanging, and like I say, at the end we will use our wool needle and we'll secure them, we'll tie them all in. Okay, right, so first section of the rainbow done with lark's head knots and double half hitch knots. All clear so far, brilliant, thank you. Okay, so next part of the rainbow, we're going to do, I'm going to do this green section here, and this is going to be added to the dowel in exactly the same way with a lark's head knot, but then we're going to be making this pattern, and the knot is called a square knot. So a square knot, it's one of the most basic knots that you will use in macrame. It's the first one I learned other than a lark's head knot for attaching the cords. So I've got my two 2-metre cords, and I'm going to do this layer in green. So make the ends meet so that we know we're working with cords of an equal length. Then you've got your loop, okay, loop over the dowel. I'm going to hold my dowel there. Okay, and I'm going to do that with the second green cord as well. So there we go. Okay, now what I am going to do is, this is where I'm going to add another hook. This is another good thing about working on the hanging rail, is that I'm going to add a hook there, and hope that will stop my dowel flying off like it did when I was doing the first layer, because that will hold it secure. Okay, so with the green cords, we're going to make a square knot, okay? And again, the instructions are in the kit, but I'm going to go through how to make a square knot, and then if you need to, you can, if you need to catch up, you can, stop it, pause it, practice, and so on. Okay, right, I'm going to go through a square knot. A square knot, we always use 4 cords, okay? So 2 lark's head knots has given us 4 cords. Now, the 2 cords that are in the centre, they are called the holding cords, because they don't actually do anything other than hold the knot, okay? It's the outer cords that are called the working cords, because as the name suggests, they do the work and they make the knot, okay? So I've got 2 holding cords, I've got a left cord and a right cord. Okay, you may be in reverse, but it's exactly the same. You can do right first or you can do left first. It doesn't matter, you're going to get the same pattern. Now, I always do my left-hand cord, okay, which is your right on the screen, and it makes an L, and I'm going to put that over the holding cords, okay, like that, and I'm just going to hold that steady with my thumb. And then this right-hand cord is going to come over the front, and then it's going to go up diagonally through that L loop. Okay, and I pull the cord through and it will look a bit like that, and then you just pull it so it sits underneath the lark's head knots. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move so you're a bit straighter on, so you're not at an angle so much. There we go, let me try that again. Just move just slightly so you're straighter. Okay. All right, so we did the the L cord first, and now I'm going to repeat that with the other side. So I want it to go over the holding cords and just secure it with my thumb. Okay, now I call that the P cord, but because you're in reverse it might look like the other way around, like the L cord. And then the other cord is going to go behind and up diagonally through this P loop, and then pull it all the way through. Okay, and there we go. So there I've got one complete square knot. Okay. Just move you into the centre. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to show you that again, because we've made one square knot, we're going to make another 9. Okay, so here we go. So you've got your holding cords in the centre, one cord, take over the centre 2, hold it with your thumb, then the other working cord, bring in front of these cords, but then it's going to go up diagonally here, behind, and then come out here through the loop, the L loop, and then just pull it up like that, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. Okay, if anyone's got any questions about the square knot, please give me a shout. So making my P loop there, up through that loop. Okay, now what might happen is if you're first beginning macrame, if you don't go behind and bring your cord up through, your knot will just sort of like open out. Okay, and you'll think, oh, that hasn't worked. It's just because you've got your cord in front instead of behind. Okay, so I'll go through another one. So that's 2 square knots done. So cord, see, it's over these 2 holding cords now, but it's this one we need to get right. So it comes in front of this working cord, but then it goes behind, and it has to come from behind through the loop. Okay, like that. If you don't go behind, that's when your knot will collapse. So that's half, and then that, by doing the second half, is a complete square knot. Okay, now what you will find is you will get into a rhythm with this. Okay, it's like crochet or knitting. Once you sort of like know how your hands are working, you'll just get into your own rhythm. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to carry on until I've got 10 altogether. Okay, so that's 4, and it makes like this nice lovely ladder pattern. Let me do another one. 5. There we go, 6. 7. 8. It's got a couple more to do. 9. And 10. Okay, as I say, you can slow the video down, or if you're watching it on catch up, you can stop and pause and practice until you know you've got your square knots right. But once you get going, you'll like I say, you'll just get into a rhythm. And what we want to do is we want to make sure now that this row on the rainbow is going to reach the dowel, okay? Now, I'd measured it obviously before I did the kit and the instructions, so I know that with the cord that's in the kit, it will take 10 square knots to be able to reach it, okay? If you're using a thinner cord, or if you've got a thicker cord, it may be slightly more or less square knots. But in that case, if you haven't got the kit, I'd just keep checking that it fits so that you've got a nice complete line before we attach it to the dowel. Okay, so again, I hope that makes sense. Then, to attach it to the dowel, we're not going to use all 4 cords. We're going to use just 2 of the cords. And because we've used the working cords, I'm going to use the 2 centre cords. And we're going to attach it in exactly the same way as we did before. Okay, so I always get confused about this bit. So we're going to go from the back, okay, but then I want to come through the loop so it crosses over. Then if I pull that, this is where you sort of like shuffle and fiddle, because I want that to sit nicely. There we go. Okay, so I've come through there, then I'm going to cross that cord there, the first one, go behind the dowel, and we've got another little loop here. Okay, and then I'm going to pull, I'm going to get my finger and pull that cord through that loop, and then we've got the nice lark's head knot finish. Okay, now I've got a little bit of a gap there. So what I can do is I can just loosen it, and if you just wiggle it to pull it a bit tighter, okay? I can spend some time doing that in a minute. All right, so let me do that again. So I'm going to go behind the dowel, okay, and then through this loop. Okay, then I'm going to go behind the dowel and through this loop. And there you will have your lark's head knot. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten it to secure it. Could be neater, but like I say, if you're doing this, you can spend more time just making sure that you've got it neat. But there you go, you've got your cord attached to the dowel. Now actually, I could have done that so that the cord's at the front making this same pattern. Okay, so in fact I am going to take that just because I can't have that one looking slightly different. And this is the beauty about macrame, is you can always, if you've made a little mistake, you can just undo it. Right, so there we go. So I'm going to go over the dowel and through. That's better. That's better. I'm going to get it right this time. It's the pressure of being live. Okay, so I went over the dowel and through the loop, and then behind and through. There we go, that's much better. That sits happier with me now. Okay, so there is the second step of the rainbow completed. Okay, now these bits, because they're the centre of the rainbow and they're shorter, obviously they don't take quite so long. Okay, and again, I mean, we have got excess cord, but I always try and add more cord into the kit and into the design, because my worst nightmare is working and then running out of cord. So yes, we have got a bit of excess, but you can always trim them and keep the ends, and we can make feathers and things. Okay, Right, I hope that's all okay with you so far. Let me get my, here we are. Okay, so I'm going to show you this bit now. So we've done the centre semicircle bit and we've done the square knot. We've done those 2 rows of the rainbow. We're now going to move on and do this diamond pattern section of the rainbow. So we're going to use the 3 cords, and I've got the 3-metre cords for this. And the diamond is actually made up of double half hitch knots, which is what we did here. And the centre of the rainbow, of the diamond, is a square knot. Okay, so we're actually just going to use those previous 2 knots that we've done to create this diamond section. Okay, so if you've got your 3-metre cords, and I'm going to do mine yellow. Okay, here we are. This is where it can get a bit trickier because you're using longer cords. And again, that's why the hanging rail is quite good, because you're sort of like less likely to get tangled. So, cords meeting at the end again. Go back and get your loop. Okay, loop over, I'm just going to move that, it's not quite central. Loop over the dowel, open and through. Okay, is anyone doing this actually as I'm doing it, are they, or are you all watching to catch up? Be interesting to see how you're getting on. You have to see if you can add some pictures or anything. Okay, there we go. So second cord. I should have said actually that the cord I'm using is a single twist cord. So there's different types of macrame cord you can get, but single twist I like because you can brush it out at the end to get that nice feathered effect. Okay. Right, so I've got my 3 cords attached with the lark's head knot now. So I've got 6 cords hanging. Okay. Now, if you have a look in your instructions, okay, on the instructions, it's got how to do this step by step as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by sort of like splitting these centre 2 cords. Okay, I'm just going to move you over here a bit so you're a bit more. Okay, so we're going to split the centre 2. So the 3rd one in goes one diagonal, and the 3rd one in from the other side goes to the other diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to do one diagonal first, and as I said previously, these are the filler cords for the double half hitch knots. So because I'm doing a diagonal, like the top of the diamond, I'm going to hold that filler cord in the direction that I want it to go. Okay, so I'm holding it in a diagonal position. Then I'm going to take one of the working cords over and then through that loop again. So just like we did for the first section, bring that through for that's a half hitch, and then repeat that again for the double half hitch. Okay, so there's one double half hitch knot. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat it with the outer cord. So over and through. And then just pull it. You want to try and pull them with the same tension so that they're a very similar size. and then pull that again. Okay, so we've now got the top of the diamond for that one side, and I'm going to repeat that for the other side. Okay, so I'm going to hold it in that diagonal direction. Take one cord over and then pull the cord through. Okay, and again just pull it up. There we go. It's half hitch over and through. For the double half hitch. Then you can leave that cord hanging, and then you're going to repeat that for the outer cord. So over and through. Okay, and then over and through. There we go. Okay, so you can see that we've got the top of that diamond now. So just to make it a bit more interesting in the centre of the diamond, as I showed you, I made a square knot. So just like we did here, I've got the 4 working cords, but 2 of them become the holding cords, and it's these 2 that do the work. So do your first half of your square knot, and then the second half of your square knot, and there you go. Okay, so we've now got 2 double half hitch knots either side for the top of the diamond, and we've got a square knot in the centre of the diamond. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bottom of the diamond. And again, we've got the instructions here. So if you're doing it step by step, you know, just sort of like follow these pictures. Okay, so I'm on number 16 now if you are following these. So we're going to use the far cord, okay, here, and I'm going to outline it of the bottom of the diamond, and using the 2 cords I'm going to make 2 double half hitch knots. So over and through. Okay, just pull them with the same tension so that they look the same size. If you pull them too hard, they'll look smaller, or if you leave them too loose, they'll look a bit baggier. Okay, and one more. Half, and there's the double. Okay. Now I'm going to use the cord from the other side of the diamond. All right, and I'm going to hold it over here. But what I'm actually going to do this time is I'm going to do my 2 double half hitch knots to close the diamond here. But then I'm going to carry on so that I'm making the top part of the next diamond. So let me go through that with you. So over and through, like that. That's for half. Over and through. Okay, then I'm going to repeat it with the second cord. There we go. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the filler cord from the other side, but I'm going to take the outer 2 cords here, and I'm going to make another 2 double half hitch knots. So that closes the diamond. Okay, but you can see it's also, I'll move it over as well. It's also making the top half of the next diamond. Okay, so you can see that, and it just gives you like that nice like flowing line. Okay, if you've got any questions, again, just please do ask. Right, so now I'm going to go back. So there's the cord that I missed from the other side, and this is going to make the top of the diamond this side. So another 2 double half hitch knots. 1, 2, that's one, and then one last one. 1, 2. Okay, so I hope that, yeah, you can see that, can't you? You can see how that has now made the top of the next diamond. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, just move the outer cords out of the way, okay, and I'm going to make another square knot with those 4 cords in the centre. So 1, 2. Okay, so now we've done that, we are at the point where we were here. So I'm going to just close the bottom of the diamond this side with 2 double half hitch knots. Let me just move that so you can see where I am. There we go. So 1, 2, and then this one here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one hanging there, and then I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did here. I'm going to close the bottom of the diamond, and then I'm going to move to the top of the next diamond. Okay. That's half and double. This pattern does look really lovely when it's completed. 1, 2. Okay, so that one that's the filler cord from this side I'll leave, and I'm just going to make 2 more with the outer 2. And there we go. You can see why you need long cords now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that until we have made 5 diamonds. Okay, so I've done 2 and I'm just about to start my 3rd. But again, as I said up here, if you are working with a different size cord, like the 3 or the 5mm, then just keep going here and checking that you've made enough till you can reach the side of the dowel here. Okay, so I'm going to carry on and just make my 5 diamonds. If you're working along with me, then brilliant. carry on and make your 5 diamonds. If you're not, you might want to go and grab a drink or something if you're coming back to it later. If you have got any questions for me whilst I'm making these, then please fire away. I will try and answer them as I'm working. And I just want to show you how to attach this side to the dowel when we're done. I'm just conscious though that I don't want you to just be sitting watching me make knots. Okay. There's a message there from the craft shows. We've announced dates for the 2021 shows. So the first one being back at the NEC in Birmingham, which is literally just up the road from me. I'll be there doing macrame. Can't wait. Missed it. So yeah, so pop over to the ICHF website and have a look. It's all COVID safe and there's COVID guarantees. So we can actually get crafting real life with real people, which is going to be fab. So some of you might have tickets from last year that have transferred over. Some of you might be new and just got into crafting over lockdown and isolation, and I know so many people have picked up new hobbies and new ways of relaxing, really, which is why I craft. It's just a bit of headspace. Although I'm talking at the moment, it's nice just to switch off and relax, and then make something at the end of it. Right, so you can see I'm just closing my 3rd diamond. And you will get quicker. The more you do this, the quicker you will be. Okay, so now I'm going to miss out that one that was the filler from there. Start at the 4th diamond. Okay, and then one to make the top of the 4th diamond. It's not too cold where you are today. It's beautiful here, just sunny but chilly. Okay. I'm standing on my cord, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. Right, another square knot. I'm just going to grab a sip of my drink. Go. Move over to the other side. You're all very quiet out there. You either haven't got any questions or you're busy following me as I'm going along. Okay, now I'm going to move over and make the top of the 5th diamond, and then I'll show you how to close the diamond without carrying on. Just move this down a bit. There we go. Top of the last diamond. And I'm going to do the last square knot. Like I said, then I'll show you how to close the diamond. Okay, so I'm just checking, yeah, that fits. So to close the diamond, I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do the same 2 on the one side. There we go. Then if I move over to this side, I'm going to make the 2 double half hitch knots. Okay. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that one that we've been missing out before up here, okay, the feeder cord, the filler cord from the other side. I'm going to use that one to make one final double half hitch knot, and that will close the diamond. Okay, so there you go. You've got your 5 diamonds. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to move you back up here a minute. There we are. And I'm going to show you again how to make the lark's head knots on this side. Okay, in fact I might take this down again. It is easier sometimes just to take it off the hook. Now again, we're not going to use all of the cords, but I'm going to, oh, there we go. I'm going to use 3 cords because I want to make 3 lark's head knots. Okay, so I'm going to use the outer cord, I'll use one of the middle cords, and I'll use the other outer cord. Okay, so I'm going to take it over there, pull that. It does get a bit fiddly. Hold that there, pull it. Okay, you'll be able to straighten it out as we go along. Then I'm going to take the cord over that cord, so then I've got that loop, and I'm going to bring it through that loop. There we go, I did it right first time that time. Okay. Alright, so again, I'm just going to spread these out a little bit so that they fit. Okay, do the same. Spread that. Pull that a bit tighter. Spend ages fiddling with these. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with one of the centre cords. So take it over and through. And then behind and through. Oh dear. Okay. There we go, spreading these out so it looks a bit, we'll be able to neaten it up at the end anyway. And one last one, so over and through. Becomes a bit easier actually as you go along. When you were here you've got less room to work with. There you go, that's neatened it up a bit. So over and through that loop and then behind and through that loop. There we go. Okay, so there is your diamond pattern section of the rainbow done. And like I say, you've got these cords, you can leave them hanging and we can trim them all at the end. All right, so as no one's asked any questions, I'm hoping that we're all okay with that. I am now going to move these hooks again. See, now I've got more cords on, it's easier to secure it. There we go. Okay. Right, we're now going to do another section of the rainbow. And we're going to do this, I'm going to do the pink section here, and I'm actually going to use blue on my rainbow. And we're going to do another line of square knots. So basically we're repeating, oh, sorry about the dog barking. We're going to repeat the green section, okay? Okay, so I'm going to take one of my, this is one of my longer cords, it's, yeah, 3 meters. So I'm going to attach with the lark's head knot again, so make sure the ends meet. Loop over the dowel, pull the cords through, oh for goodness sake. There we go. And my second blue cord, I'll just go through the square knots with you again. Okay. So we've got our 4 cords for the square knot. The 2 outer ones are the working cords, and it's the holding cords that are in the centre. And I'm just going to check, yeah, it's 25. For this row, so we meet the other side, we're going to make 25 square knots, okay? Or, as I said earlier, thereabouts. So if you're using a narrower or a wider cord, then you might just need to adjust the number of knots slightly, okay? So 1 cord, take it over the 2 holding cords, just secure that with your thumb. The other cord over this front cord, but then go behind, and we're going to come up through this loop Okay, and there you go. You have got half of a square knot, and then on the other side, repeat. So take one cord over the centre two holding cords, and then the other cord up, behind, and through that loop there. Okay, and then you've got one complete square knot. Now, for this row, as I say, we're going to make 25. I'll just do a few more, okay, but I don't want you to sit and watch me do 25 knots because that's slightly tedious. So I'll just keep going just for a minute and then I'll move on to the outer layer. Okay, so over, behind and through. And then over there. Then the other cord behind and through. Okay. Over, behind and through. And keep going. Because what I'm going to show you next for the outer layer is how we're going to do like an alternate square knot pattern. So you're going to carry on and make approximately 25 knots here. And again, just keep checking it until you get to the other side. And you're going to have, you'll have a slightly different blue that I used last time, but you're going to have like this square knot section here. Okay, so if you keep doing that, and then we're just going to attach it in exactly the same way. But just because I'm conscious of time, and I want to show you how to do the outer square knot pattern. So for this section is where you've got your 3 4-metre cords. Okay, so, oh, and they're long, so just careful you don't get too tangled. So you're going to attach the 3 4-metre cords in exactly the same way again. Go to the other end. Okay. Twist it a bit like that. There's one. There's 2. And the third one. Okay, now if I get the one I made earlier and I'll show you. Okay, so here, what we're going to do with this final band of the rainbow is we're going to do a square knot using 4 cords on the left or on the right, whichever side you start with, and then sitting under it on the other side, we're going to make a square knot with the other 4 cords, and it just gives you this slightly wider laddery pattern. And then it's going to give us these gaps here where we will be able to attach the rays, or like the bottom of the rainbow. Okay, which is why we're doing this alternate square knot pattern. So to do that, I'm going to start off I'm going to start off with the inside 4, so closest to the 4th band of the rainbow. And so you need to make sure your cords are not tangled. Okay, might take a while to pull your cord through to begin with because they're long. If you keep going, there we go. So there's half the square knot, and there's your second half. Okay, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 2 cords that have been unused, and then I'm going to use the 2 left-hand cords from the square knot I've just made. So again, make sure you're all untangled. Okay, and make a square knot. Okay, there you go. And I've just pulled it so it's just sitting underneath the previous square knot. Okay, and I'm going to go back to that side and make another one. And again, you're just going to continue making those alternate square knots until, as you're checking, you keep to the other side. So you want to make as many as it takes you till you're able to reach the dowel. Let me just, that's it. I didn't give a specific number because it just depends on how many, or you know, how tight you make them, but you just want to carry on this alternate square knot pattern. Okay, and the next 4. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And you can kind of see, can't you, that alternate pattern where it's almost like stepping stones. Okay, and you're going to continue that. I'm not going to let you watch me do that because it's just, again, as I said, it's just tedious. But you want to keep continuing until you meet the other side of the dowel, and then again just attach your cords to the dowel with the lark's head knot, just as we have done for these previous bands of the rainbow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this one out of the way, so you will have time to carry on and work through that. But what I'm going to do, so you don't have to watch me make knots constantly, that's why I've got this one here. Okay, now this one obviously I did, but I haven't done oh, excuse me, but I haven't added the extra cords. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this back slightly, move my camera, bear with. There we go. So what we're going to do now is, if you bought the kit, you will have had some of the just the natural cord in there. Now, how long you want these fringed parts to be is entirely up to you. Okay, so these ones, I need to brush them out again, but these ones I kept quite long and brushed them out, but you can have them shorter. Again, it's just entirely your preference. What I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to cut some of the cords. I'll find my scissors, there we go. I'm just going to cut some of the cords, probably about 30-35 centimetres long, and I'm just going to grab myself a handful, just cut a few. They don't have to be perfectly exact. All right. And then again, what I like about working on a rail is I can just put them there and then they're ready when I need them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as I said, where we've made the alternate square knot pattern, we've got like these little gaps here, okay? So I'm going to attach these cords into each gap, okay? Now into each gap you can fit about 2. Okay, so if I'm not going to go right to the top, I'm going to start about 3 down, okay, and I'm just going to, again, make sure you've got it so it's an equal distance, make sure the ends meet, then you've got your loop, but instead of attaching cords to a dowel this time, we're going to attach them to these little gaps. So put your loop through, okay, pull your loop open, grab the cords, and then just pull them so that they're like that, and then they hang. Okay, so I'm going to do that with another one. And I'm going to, like I say, just to fill it out so it looks nice and full, I'm going to put another one in there. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to carry on all the way along, and then I'm going to, like I say, probably stop about the same, so on the same level this side. I don't put some here because then they just tend to sort of like hang and droop, whereas here, if you can see, I did like the sides, and it's sort of, it doesn't bulk out too much at the side, so I hope that makes sense. If you wanted to, you can go all the way around. So I'm going to add another few cords. All the way along here. And to me personally, this just really finishes it off. And then we can cut and trim the cords as we wish. And if you want them brushed out, you can use a brush or a comb to do just that. Sometimes the brushing does take a bit of work. You know, you're better off brushing it on a flat surface as well. You just have to sort of like hold these before you brush. Okay. All right, has anyone else got any questions, or anyone happy with what they've seen so far, or you want me to answer anything, any queries that you've got along the way? Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carry on cutting a few more. Scissors. See, they're just brilliant. They're the best scissors ever. They're on the website if you do want to invest in some. They are well worth it. They make your work just look so neat. Okay, so I'm assuming no one's got any questions again, which is good in a way. I'm going to carry on, just add a few more. Well, I've cut these ones slightly shorter, but it doesn't matter. Now what you could do as well here, if you wanted to, because we've got the cords, here, let me show you, because we've got these cords that were left from the back of the rainbow, what you can do is you can actually cut these cords and you can add those into the fringe as well if you want to carry on the colours through the bottom of the rainbow. That looks quite nice as well. So you're going to carry on adding your fringe. Then for the back, I was saying about sewing the cords in, wasn't I, just to neaten up the back. So you've got a wool needle, okay, and so say I wanted to take one of these orange cords in. I don't just want to snip it, because if I do that, the chances are that it'll just fray and then all become undone. So I'm just going to pop that through the wool needle, and I'm just going to sew it in and out a bit. Might need a bit of a wiggle. Might be better off doing this on your lap or something. Or... come in. There we go. I want to pull that cord through. There we go. Okay, and then once you've tied it, I mean, you can go backwards and forwards, you know how, like, if you finish off a sewing project or crochet, if you're sewing your ends in a crochet project, go back a few and then you can snip it just so it's a bit neat at the back. And then, like I say, you've got these cords, so then when you're adding your fringe, you can always add some of the colours at the end as well. Okay, so again, with all of these cords, I would do the same, just sew them in, and then when you come to hang it against a wall, it's not as bulky. Okay, all right. So the idea is you just continue all the way along adding your fringe, and once you've done that, I put this one back up, which was my original one. I'll move those out of the way now. Then you can just get your pet brush or a comb, and again, you're probably better off doing this on a flat surface. And all you want to do, this is really therapeutic as well, is you just want to brush these cords out. Okay, that's if you want this fringed effect. Now, to begin with, they will carry on curling. Okay, you just have to keep brushing and brushing from front, then turn it over. Okay, this one's gone a little bit baggy now because I've used this so many times for demos. But you just want to keep brushing that out. Go to the back, brush it out from the back. And if you want to hold it, if you want to keep that nice feathered fringe, then you can just add, or just spray it with hairspray, and it gives a really lovely finish. Okay, and let me just put you back so I can see you for a second. Okay, so there you go. Like I say, I really do hope you've enjoyed watching the tutorial. I know that you might have some questions afterwards. If you have, just pop them in the comments below, and what I will do is I will do my best to answer them. You can always tag me at Mindful Crafts, Solihull, and yeah, if you don't already, you can pop over and follow our page, and we'll be at the craft shows at the NEC in June, so that's exciting, and I hope to see some of you then and actually meet some of you face to face rather than talking to you through a screen. Okay, hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to see your pictures of your rainbows when you've completed them. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the festival, and I hope you make lots of lovely things. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.